When Bottom crashed onto British TV in 1991, audiences saw violent slapstick, savage insults, and chaos so extreme it felt almost cartoonish. But beneath the frying pans and explosions lurked bizarre hidden details most fans completely missed. Fact 1.
Eddie, stand back! Merry Christmas!
The filthy flat. Richie and Eddie share looks consistent at first, but its layout secretly changes between episodes in ways most fans never spot. Entire walls shift position without explanation, creating an almost dreamlike instability. The kitchen doorway sometimes appears wider or narrower depending on the gag. Props vanish between scenes as if stolen by unseen chaos. Writers loved using the flat as a flexible playground for violence. Production teams intentionally rearrange furniture to set up slapstick moments. Eddie's armchair moves locations without any character acknowledging it. Even the window height changes whenever a stunt requires a crash. The flat's logic bends to whatever joke is being built. Fans assumed continuity errors, but many changes were deliberate. The shifting layout enhances the surreal tone of the show. Richie often references imaginary rooms the audience never sees. The flat becomes a living extension of their madness.
Stand up.
No.
Come on.
I can't, I've got a hernia.
No, you haven't.
I have, it's all the excitement just gave me a hernia.
Look, stand up or I will give you a hernia.
All right.
Fact 2.
Richard, you're alive.
Yes, the amount of pain I'm in would suggest so.
Many of Richie's most famous lines weren't actually scripted, but grew out of Adrian Edmondson and Rick Mayall's improvisation. Mayall loved repeating odd phrases until they became part of Richie's identity. Words like sausage and ding-dong evolved naturally during rehearsals. Directors encouraged them because Mayall's delivery made nonsense sound iconic. Cast members often cracked up at newly invented catchphrases. Mayall experimented with tone to make Richie's arrogance funnier. Improvisation allowed Richie to sound unpredictable and unhinged. Some episodes were rewritten after new catchphrases emerged. Fans think everything was meticulously scripted, but the spontaneity helped shape the character. Mayall thrived on surprising the crew. Improvised lines created momentum during chaotic scenes. The nonsense vocabulary became essential to Richie's comedic rhythm. His eccentric speech patterns were born from pure creative instinct.
Lieutenant Sex Machine, homicide? Yeah, what time? Damn!
Fact 3. While Bottom looks like uncontrolled mayhem, every slap, punch, frying pan hit, and explosion was meticulously planned to prevent real injury. Rick Mayall and Adrian Edmondson both had experience with stage combat from their young ones' days. They insisted on creating ultra-precise timing for each stunt. Edmondson often designed the physical choreography himself. Many sequences were rehearsed in slow motion to guarantee safety. The duo trusted each other completely despite the apparent brutality. Props were lightweight duplicates designed to look deadly. Camera work hid the safe distances between impacts. Even head smashes were achieved through clever angles and sound effects. Mayall sometimes pushed stunts to the brink of danger. The team maintained a strict safety code even when chaos appeared wild. Fans still believe many hits were real. The precision of the choreography made the violence incredibly convincing. Behind the scenes, it was closer to dance than fighting. Fact 4.
I'll keep him talking, and you go into the kitchen and do all the dangerous stuff, okay?
That sounds just a trifle unfair to me.
Although the show doesn't emphasise it, Richie and Eddie's address places them in Hammersmith, West London, giving the chaos a strangely grounded backdrop. Street signs and exterior shots subtly confirm the location. Writers chose Hammersmith because it felt ordinary, yet gritty. The contrast between normal London life and absurd apartment violence heightened the comedy. Fans rarely notice the geographic clues. Richie occasionally references nearby landmarks without naming them. Production crews filmed exteriors early in the morning to avoid crowds. The neighbourhood's Victorian terraces fit the timeless feel of the series. The setting allowed writers to parody everyday British frustration. Eddie's drinking habits mirror the pub culture of the area. Hammersmith's identity hides quietly in the background. The mundane location makes the surreal action funnier. The show's world feels both familiar and unhinged at once.
I think those Hussein brothers saw you coming again. What else did you get? Big jugs?
Fact 5.
Spray liberally.
Yeah?
Go to a place with lots of females.
Yeah.
And brace yourself.
Richie's iconic brown suit and greasy tie weren't chosen randomly. They hint at a man desperate to appear respectable despite total failure. Costume designers based the suit on outdated 1970s fashion still lingering in bargain bins. The clothes never quite fit properly, symbolizing Richie's delusion. His tie is intentionally crooked in almost every scene. The stains on his shirt change shape between episodes as running gags. Richie occasionally wears items that contradict his supposed poverty. His jacket's fabric appears to degrade across the series. Designers use muted colours to amplify the grim apartment palette. His shoes squeak intentionally for comedic timing. Even his socks rarely match, though the camera seldom draws attention to it. The wardrobe reflects Richie's warped self-image. Nothing he wears aligns with who he thinks he is. Visual jokes hide in nearly every outfit choice. Fans rarely notice these tiny comedic details.
Two guys, there's no chicks. It's just man to man, cultured, urbane, civilized, male stuff. And I'm not being funny.
Fact 6.
Little baby, don't say a word. Daddy's got a dead cert in the 3:30 at Chepstow.
The Crown pub appears consistent across the series, but keen-eyed viewers will notice the layout subtly changing to suit each episode's jokes, making it an intentionally fluid comedy space. Sometimes the bar is longer than before, while other times furniture shifts to create room for stunts. Staff characters vanish without explanation, as if replaced nightly. Lighting changes transform the pub's mood from grim to oddly cheerful. Writers treated the location as a blank canvas for new gags. Even the drinks behind the bar rotate inconsistently. Props appear and disappear depending on slapstick needs. Richie occasionally references pub events that never happened on screen. The toilets move locations between episodes. Extras behave as though they've never seen Richie or Eddie before. The pub becomes part of the show's running surrealism. Fans rarely question the inconsistencies. The shifting geography enhances the dreamlike logic of Bottom.
I demand to see the landlord.
I am the landlord.
I know.
We have this conversation every night. £1.60.
All right, there you are, vampire,
Leech.
bloodsucker.
Fact 7.
500 quid on the nose on Sad Ken, if you please.
Certainly, would you like to pay tax?
But of course I wouldn't.
Though Eddie acts like a drunken buffoon, several subtle moments reveal he's far smarter than he pretends, showing flashes of cunning that reshape how viewers interpret him. He solves problems quickly when alcohol is involved. He performs impressive improvisations during scams. Eddie often manipulates Richie's ego to get his way. His survival instincts prove surprisingly sharp. He hides intelligence beneath deliberate laziness. Writers enjoyed subverting expectations through quiet cleverness. Fans noticed he can read complex documents instantly. He calculates bar tabs faster than Richie can blink. His pop culture knowledge is unusually broad. Eddie's brilliance appears only when convenient to the plot. His stupidity becomes an act of strategic effort. The characters' contradictions enrich the show's humour. Eddie is far from the fool he pretends to be.
Realise this paper's upside down, sir.
So are my eyes.
Fact 8.
I've normally got loads of birds, but there was a coach crash last week and I lost 40 of them.
The graffiti seen in alleyways, streets, and the estate around Richie and Eddie's flat changes constantly, offering hidden visual jokes that most viewers never catch. Some scribbles reference previous episodes subtly, others parody British politics of the early 90s. Crew members often added improvised messages between shoots. The graffiti sometimes foreshadows upcoming gags. Even spelling errors were intentional to enhance authenticity. Actors rarely acknowledge the writing behind them. Fans who freeze-frame episodes can find dozens of variations. The designs were redone whenever locations were reset. Comic artists on the team treated walls as playful Easter egg boards. Messages occasionally reference the cast's private in-jokes. Some symbols have no meaning at all and exist purely for chaos. The graffiti contributes to the grimy urban aesthetic. It adds layers of hidden comedy to outdoor scenes.
So we need big oxygen masks before we get to the top of that one, won't we, Sir Edmund?
Fact 9.
Farmers and a flock of penguins and to secure another term of office for that Margaret Thatcher.
Each season of Bottom increases the intensity of its violence on purpose, creating a structured comedic escalation that fans often sense but rarely analyse. Early episodes rely on small-scale slapstick. Later episodes involve fire, electricity, explosions and rooftop mayhem. Writers believed violence should grow absurdly over time. The escalation mirrors Richie and Eddie's deteriorating relationship. Stunt coordinators planned bigger set pieces as confidence grew. Props became more elaborate for comedic exaggeration. Cast members embraced the rising chaos enthusiastically. Directors encouraged pushing boundaries of physical comedy. The violence never aims for realism, but for cartoon logic. Fans accepted the transformation as natural evolution. Mayall and Edmondson treated escalation as comedic storytelling. The show's identity deepened through those extremes. The deliberate progression shaped its cult reputation.
Look lively, I'll buy you all a drink after my first shag.
Fact 10.
Come on, hurry up, and order, you time-wasting parasites, or I'll set the dogs on ya!
Many of the show's funniest audio moments come from subtle sound effects layered beneath dialogue and action, creating jokes that most viewers absorb subconsciously without noticing. Editors added faint squeaks whenever Richie walked. Eddie's drinking often included exaggerated glugging for humour. Background ambience shifted to match emotional beats. Objects falling off screen produced cartoon-like impacts. Sound teams experimented with absurd Foley props such as cabbages, leather jackets, and wet sponges. Some effects were deliberately delayed for comedic timing. Others punctuated lines with subtle mockery. Richie's movements occasionally include animal noises hidden in the mix. Eddie's footsteps grow heavier as he gets drunker. Clattering pans were enhanced to sound impossibly dramatic. Audio layering made chaotic scenes feel even wilder. The sound design is one of the show's secret comedic weapons. Fans underestimate how much humour comes from audio alone.
Young man, but I have never in my life, as a Christian, I'm so tightly clenched that,
Fact 11.
This is the BAFTA. Try and enjoy it, Eddie. And... action.
The original concept for Bottom was significantly darker and more cynical, with writers envisioning a world closer to bleak social satire before the slapstick chaos fully took over. Early drafts leaned heavily into themes of isolation and failure. Richie and Eddie were initially written as more desperate figures. The humour was sharper and more uncomfortable. Producers encouraged softening the tone to avoid alienating audiences. Mayall and Adrian Edmondson adjusted their performances accordingly. They found a balance between cruelty and absurdity. Some darker jokes survived in later episodes as remnants of the original idea. Fans often describe Bottom as a cartoon for adults because of this mix. The shift towards silliness opened the door for extreme slapstick. Writers felt the show became funnier by exaggerating misery rather than dwelling on it. The darker version still influences the series' emotional undercurrent. The pilot's evolution shaped everything that came after.
I'm gonna get me some liposuction. Not from me and not matey.
Fact 12.
Here we go. All right, I'll chop your legs off again. I'll sew them back on. Honestly, who's been me?
While Eddie appears to drink constantly and indiscriminately, the show subtly follows patterns that suggest he knows exactly what he's doing. Even at his most chaotic, he only drinks certain spirits during specific emotional beats. Beer often signals mischief rather than despair. Whiskey indicates he is planning something devious. When he switches drinks quickly, it foreshadows impending disaster. Writers intentionally tied beverages to behavior cues. Fans rarely notice the deliberate structure behind the drinking gags. Eddie's tolerance fluctuates for comedic effect. Sometimes he becomes drunk instantly for punchline timing. Other times he remains clear-headed after massive consumption. His abilities seem linked to alcohol almost magically. This inconsistent logic becomes an internal rule of the show. Eddie treats drinking not just as a habit but as a tool. The pattern strengthens the show's surrealism.
He's not very tight-mouthed today, is he?
Fact 13.
Has he seen the cash yet?
Oh, Lefty, or so help me, I'll swing for you.
The laughter heard during episodes wasn't manipulated or exaggerated. Bottom often shocked live audiences with its intensity, leading to genuine gasps and surprised reactions. Mayall and Edmondson thrived on performing for real crowds. They fed off spontaneous energy, making physical jokes even bigger. Some scenes had to be paused because applause lasted too long. The unpredictability created electric performance rhythms. Audience members sometimes flinched during violent stunts. Directors appreciated the authentic atmosphere this created. Writers believed laughter strengthened timing for home viewers. No canned laugh tracks were needed because reactions were explosive. Mayall occasionally broke character from audience amusement. Eddie's improvised moments became crowd favorites instantly. Recorded laughter became part of the show's musical rhythm. The live atmosphere preserved theatre-like immediacy. Real reactions intensified the chaotic spirit of Bottom.
Well, never actually been bunged out before, but boy, I'm game for anything.
Fact 14.
I was not. What are you suggesting? I was in the thick of it. Someone else looked after the ponies.
Many props in Bottom were subtly altered to enhance comedic exaggeration, creating illusions that made ordinary items appear more dangerous or ridiculous. Frying pans were created in multiple weights for different impact sounds. Chairs were weakened so they collapsed on cue. Knives and scissors were rubber duplicates for safety. Bottles were engineered to shatter dramatically. Doors were rigged to rebound unnaturally hard. Even newspapers were oversized for visual absurdity. Prop masters experimented constantly with textures and breakability. Some items were purposely too big or too small. Mayall and Edmondson requested customized props for specific gags. These exaggerated objects shaped the slapstick choreography. Fans rarely noticed the engineering behind the chaos. Props became silent comedic partners in each scene. Their manipulation elevated the show's physical humor to iconic levels.
Isn't it? Interesting. Knowing that you women never muck in when it comes down to a scrap.
Fact 15.
Do you know, I think I'm going to make a fresh pot of tea. This one's been sitting here for 3.5 months.
Although the characters are extreme caricatures, Richie and Eddie were loosely based on exaggerated versions of Rick Mayall and Adrian Edmondson's own comedic partnership, reflecting their long history of chaotic collaboration. Their real-life chemistry influenced every scene. The bickering mirrored their stage personas. Their rhythm was built from decades of performance together. Writers often trusted them to invent material on the spot. Their friendship allowed them to push physical boundaries safely. Characters grew around their natural timing. Fans sensed authenticity beneath the absurdity. Mayall and Edmondson brought personal energy into each insult. Their creative shorthand made rehearsals fast and instinctive. The duo shaped the tone more than any script revision. They were the heart of the show's identity. Without their partnership, Bottom would not exist in the form audiences know.